Hey everyone! Well, it's sure been a while since my last proper video. You must be wondering what exactly is taking me so long. Well, as many of you probably already know, I've been working on my own fully fledged indie game. Yeah, a little bit like a certain game that inspired this channel in the first place. Now, if you already knew that, you're probably then wondering why I've revealed next to nothing about it. Well, it's actually pretty simple. Probably the first and most important reason is that I haven't actually copyrighted or patented anything to do with the game yet. Now, while what I'm making is technically covered by creative license, I would rather not risk something silly, like someone going out of their way to buy the domain name of what I'll be calling my game, and other things that might be an annoying hurdle to get over in the future. I'd just rather not have to deal with anything like that. And so, for that reason, until the game is closer to completion, I don't plan on teasing anything, but I promise I will closer to release. The next reason is also fairly obvious. Around 2 or 3 years ago, I had next to no knowledge of how to program. In fact, I used to be so intimidated by the idea of coding that I was pretty much convinced that it was something I could never do. Conveniently at the time, I used to talk to a bunch of people who had just got done with computer science degrees. Now I figured they might want to do something exciting, like work on an indie game. Unfortunately, literally all of them chose to pursue careers that have nothing to do with coding. Now I don't exactly blame them, as at times coding can be an absolute nightmare, and it's probably one of the least fun things to do in the world, in my opinion. As much as it isn't fun, that doesn't mean that with some relentless determination I couldn't get good at it, and so I kind of have. And now I'm more than confident that I will be able to create this entire game by my own hands. It's also incredibly advantageous to be my own game's head or even sole programmer, as I can directly create any idea that I happen to have, and I don't need to have someone else create what I have in mind for me. Now some of you may be wondering why I just abruptly dropped everything out of the blue to work on this. Well, the truth is, I'm more than a little jaded about sites such as YouTube and Twitch. It's not that I particularly care about all the drama surrounding ad revenue and censorship that's been taking place recently. I hold what is probably quite an unpopular opinion. I just really don't feel like the vast majority of channels on these websites put any effort in whatsoever. Now before I really offend anyone, let me just say that I don't even necessarily exclude myself from that label. The truth is that making a game, like I've decided to, is something that is literally taking thousands upon thousands of hours. I work on my game every single day. Now compared to the average YouTuber or streamer, who just records themselves talking for maybe a few minutes in some cases, that's a lot of work. And I wanted to do something that I could actually be proud of. I don't think I personally will ever be proud of some lackluster 10-minute video that at the end of the day is primarily designed to gain views. I want to make something that might actually be kind of incredible, and I just don't think that's something that happens as a YouTuber, unless you make animations or something along those lines. The next reason is related to the one before. I want to make the best creation I possibly can. I doubt I will feel very accomplished if all my hard work amounts to nothing of importance. I want to create a game that you will remember for many months to come, and may very well inspire some people to make games of their own. After all, that's what Undertale did for me, and so I want to make something just as good. That means that every detail I work on takes a very long time, as I'm not satisfied with any old garbage. Thankfully, I have some very talented artists, and one musician I'm sure you all know very well, working hard to help me realise my vision. I have no doubt in our ability to do this, it's just a matter of the time it will take. And finally, I don't plan on giving everything away about my game. This isn't going to be like one of those early access titles where you just have to literally pay to be a beta tester and do the dev's job for them. I remember when games were actually kind of good, and typically didn't suck like that. I plan on making a fully fledged game right away, which should be a captivating experience from start to finish. I think releasing the game in chunks, like some sort of patchwork dissection of game development, isn't the way to do that. I want my players to experience the best possible version of what I have in mind as soon as they pay for it, in stark contrast to how the game industry seems to work nowadays. And so, I hope that answers everyone's questions. Maybe some of you are wondering what the game will be like. Well, I'm not afraid to say it's going to be an RPG heavily inspired by Undertale and other similar games. At the same time, it's going to be its own thing. I hope it will be its own original experience that will be remembered for years to come. As for when you might actually get to play it, well, I do plan on releasing a demo in the not too distant future. With how things are currently going, I think that might only be a matter of months now. Around the same time, I will likely launch a Kickstarter, in order to gauge interest and to pay for a few little important things here and there. But as I said, I don't plan on making something disappointing, and so until I believe what I've created is actually ready for release in some form, I won't be revealing much. I do genuinely believe though that you're all going to enjoy the final product. Thanks for watching, and thank you for your patience. Just wait a little longer and hopefully it will all feel worthwhile.